Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Silent again. I am going to be making another video here. Again, sorry for my lack of performance. The main point for this video today is to show everybody how to make a Halo 3 aimbot. The correct way to make a Halo 3 aimbot. I have again, like a lot of my previous videos, I have scoured the internet, and it was painful to try to, bring all this together to do it the right way. The material that I found online so far, it doesn't exactly cover it. The best thing I found so far is videos on how to make an aimbot using a dedicated tool, which in a few of my previous videos I've covered, called assembly. But I actually want to show you how you actually make your own tool. You can just do it for practice. Make your own tool so you can use, online. So just wanted to give a summary of a couple things I'm going to cover in this video today. It's going to be quite long. And I might jump around a bit. I also I might add a few things in here too. But so basically, what we're gonna need for this tool is, first off, you're gonna want to install Windows 10. Sorry, I misnamed this. It is 2010 Visual Studio Ultimate. Yeah. That's what you want. You want to install that first. Okay, then once you install that, then you're going to want to install Xbox Neighborhood, the full version of it, so you can get the full dev kit files with it. And then next, we're going to talk about Aimbot Offsets. I'm going to go into my source code, which I'll be releasing that to you as well. And I'm going to talk about the JRPC, XRPC dev kit .ll and .xex files you're going to need, and then talk about various options on different gaming consoles and PCs, and then also I'm going to dig into a little bit about finding offsets. Yeah, let's get started. Also, you're going to need the Halo 3 game, which I'll show you where you can get that. So to get started, there's plenty of videos on it installing Windows 10 and full version. I've covered that in a previous video. You can watch that, or you can look that up online. It's pretty self-explanatory. So jumping right into the offsets. Okay, so a lot of videos online, when they talk about making a Halo bot, they show this dedicated tool assembly that you can use. Yeah, that's one way to do it, but I prefer not to do that every time. Or you can use a tool that's already provided by somebody, or you can make your own, which I'm showing you how to do here. So what I wanted to talk about is, okay, so there is a argument or debate about online about first-person shooters, about an aimbot, if it's actually called, if it should be called an aimbot, or if it should be called something else. Other people say alternatively it should be called an aim assist or something. Because if you think about the definition of a bot is something that is sits on your program, and it's programmed. It sits on your computer and it runs in the background. That's what a bot literally is. But again, like a lot of stuff in the English language, it's based on your perspective. So to explain this, what I'm trying to get at is not all aimbots are the same. So the aimbot for Halo and Call of Duty, are going to be different from, say, like Counter-Strike. And I'll just give you a basic demonstration. So the aimbot for Halo and not Call of Duty, but the Halos. Okay, it's and I know this is about. I'm sorry, I not Call of Duty, Battlefield. I noticed this the other day when I was making a tool for it. They have a built-in aim assist, not software, but programming coded into it. So like for example, on Call of Duty, Black Ops 2 and 3, and another old computer game I found online, Counter-Strike, the aim assist isn't coded into it. So you actually have to code. You actually have to put in the code into the game. Okay, so I'm trying to think of exactly how to explain this. Oh, let's pull this up here. Okay, so how do they explain that? Aimbot Vectors is what they called it. Because if anybody actually looks through the source code of like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty, you'll see that there's something called vector, or you'll find a file called vectors, and vector in gaming. Oh, I wish I was a little more prepared than this. I can explain this, but it's a lot better if I just give you a visual. Aimbot. Okay, well, I'll just pull up a picture here. So, basically, the idea is when you we'll see like what this is doing here. You know, when you have to set your vectors, and you have to program your own code for the game, like Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. You have to code your vectors so your so your guy is so your character, your player, knows where the other player is at on the map. So after you code your vectors, you're able to actually input your actual code for your aimbot. So you have to not only have to code the vectors, but you also have to code the aim assist as well. Whereas first-person shooters like Halo and Battlefield 3, 4, or whatever, they already have the vectors coded into them, and so the aim assist is already coded. So all you have to do with the Halo and the and Battlefield 4 type games is you just have to set the memory. That's all you have to do. So really, technically, it's not an aimbot. It's not really an actual cultural definition of an aimbot. It's actually an aim assist. But again, that's in the eye of the beholder. But when you start researching the vectors, it's quite interesting to see how that works. So I wish I had a better way to show you here, but that's basically what it is. You know, it's like it's coding the distance from you to the other person. So, you know, if I'm standing there and I'm pointing my gun, you know, how far within the game, how far distance is that away? That's exactly what you do when you're trying to code your vectors. When I researched that was some interesting stuff. But anyway, I'm not actually going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to set memory today for games that already have the built-in aim assist already. So, you know, if you're ever coding your own aimbot, that might be something you want to look into. The coding your vectors, that's something that's another video that's more complicated. Okay, so now pulling up the aimbot. So okay, just before I forget, like I said before, you're gonna need the Xdev kit full version. So once you got that installed and you pull up your program, and if you want to use my source files or somebody else's, or you make your own, you're gonna need these files, these DLLs for the source code, which I'll well, actually that'll already be in my source code, so you can just get it from that. But once you get these, you want to add them in as a reference. I'm not going to go into full detail on how to build your own JRPC XRPC tool, because there's tons of videos online about it, because it's just kind of a waste of time for me. But what's not a waste of time is showing you how to actually do this Halo 3 aimbot and providing you the offsets for it, which by the way, yeah, okay. And then after you have your DLL files, you're also you can program. Well, you can't use the same dev kit same dev kit for Xbox 360, but if you're going to use what I'm providing you, you're going to need an Xbox 360 RGH and JTAG console. Now, if you want to make your own tool for Halo for PC or PlayStation, you can do that. This video is just a little demonstration on how you go about doing that. So with anytime you're gonna program an aimbot with any of these, with a PS3 or console or PC, okay, for games that have a built-in aim assist, okay, you're gonna need some kind of dev kit with that. You're always gonna need the dev kit. Even with PC, I understand the PC games. They're it's more you can run unsigned code on it, but you still need the DLL files. You still need that information that's provided within the kit, the development, that's provided in the DLL files in order to run any programs, in order to set your memory. So no matter how you cut it, you're going to need those DLL files. It's not the same ones I'm showing you if you're going to code on a PC or PS3 or PS4. I didn't include the Xbox One because that is just still very locked. But even with the Xbox One, whenever somebody finally is able to crack that thing, you're still going to need the extension files in order to code your aimbot. Whether you're coding it for what that has an aim assist or doesn't have the aim assist built into it. Okay, and then obviously you have your offsets. You're gonna also I'll get into finding the offsets next, but let's jump straight into let's go into the aimbot next. Okay, so I want to actually show you how this actually works. It's really interesting. So I'm gonna open up my aimbot here. Okay, so here going. Okay, so here's the code for the aimbot. I mean, this is it. See, this isn't. There's no vectors with this. This is just completely setting the memory. You're setting a byte array, and just to show you any of those that don't know, this is a hexadecimal, and if you don't know how to convert that, you can open your calculator, go to programmer mode. You're gonna enter your value here. There's a hexadecimal, then there's a decimal. That's your value, 88. So the value is 88. So when we set this, when you run your aimbot and you set this, you're going to set the memory for this offset in the hex table for this offset location. And you're going to set it to this value, hexadecimal, which the value in decimal is 88. So we're setting and as you can see, all these are set to the same, to 88. So I don't want to just like run my tool, click a button, and then hey, poof, it works. I actually want to literally show you down into the nitty gritty. So I actually have this wonderful device that helps me, poke offsets called a peek and poker. And peek and pokers, it's a very general, broad term, but you can find them online. For if you're using a console or PC or whatever. A couple of them well-known ones are like Art Money and Cheat Engine. Let's see here. I gotta look here. I think this is it. No, that's not it. Yeah, this is it. No, that's not. That's Ice Tool. There it is. Okay. Alright. Oh, by the way, to use any of these devices, you have to be connected to Xbox Neighborhood, which I don't think I am. That might be a good idea. Okay, I guess I am. Am I? Yeah, I am. Okay. Alright. Okay. And we'll peek and poke. Pull it up here. And why is that? I'm actually going to show you this. Okay. Now let's bring back up the streaming. Sorry again for the bad quality of this video. I'm not a professional. I'm just an average Joe like the rest of you. Oh, this is taking forever. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, I am not aimbot is not on. It is off. And so basically what I'm going to do in this demonstration is I'm going to show you what it actually does when you set the memory. This is, I mean, obviously this is for educational reasons, but actually yeah, I'm just making this so everybody can see. See, there's just to show you the aimbot is off. See? Look at this. It's got... Oops. Don't want to kill myself now. Okay. So, now, let's... Okay, so we all know it's off. So, let's minimize that. Alright, and then we're going to pull up the code. I have to set each one of these peak. I hope I don't get banned for this. So okay, so it's 1 byte. So 5/8 1 byte. So that would be that's the first one here. It's gonna set. So it'd be 5/8 poke. See, it's set now. Make sure this is still on. Okay, yeah. See, it's set. I set it at this address, 5/8, and now I'm going to do that for the rest of them here. Hopefully my game does not crash. Feel free to fast forward through this. This might take me a little while. This is a lot of offsets to set. poke. That's kind of funny. That's how they say that. Man, sometimes I get really nervous when I make these videos. I honestly don't know why. I talk on the phone all the day to people. Let's set. I mean, this is doing it the manual way. I mean, this is literally what your when you run your tool, that's literally what it's doing when it's setting the memory. All right, D3. F. Peek. Peek and poke. F7. Let's see here. Imagine trying to do this in an actual game. Shit. PF. Poke. PF. Kind of zoning out here. Oh, we're almost to the bottom. Series 77. So when you set a byte array, again, this is literally what it's doing. So I mean, this right here, this is your hash table. This, when you set the memory, it's finding them. It's going to this address. It's locating this address in the memory, and then it's setting the number. It's setting the values here. Okay, you know, and I again, like I said previously, I know like there's a lot of videos on there that you know, show aimbots, and like for Halo specifically, there's this you know, the assembly and other dedicated tools where you can just enter the value on the tool, and it sets it for you. Well, I'm actually showing you how to actually make your Halo aimbot technically the correct way, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. Alright, that should be the last one there we set. Okay, so let's pull it up here. Let's pull up the Halo. And we'll do a full screen here. Okay, And then, as you can see, I have manually set my aimbot after entering in all those offsets and poking my value, which was 58. I have set my offset. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've set my offset and created what everyone likes to call an aimbot. See, everything that I set here, I set the aim assist protocols, the aim assist settings, or whatever you want to call it. So like when somebody says aim assist, that means like that means your vectors. So like you're looking left, it's set on a value. If you're looking up, that's a value. If you're looking down, that's a value. Like for example, when I was researching what's called Counter-Strike, they were talking about your X and Y axis. So like I think it's X and Y. Yeah. So like when you look up and then you go all the way down, that's supposed to be like 1. And if you look left and then right, that's like another value. That's usually, well, don't quote me on this, I think it's usually 1. But I know this one for a fact is usually 1. That's usually the value. That would be the decimal. But that's not the same. That's the generic value, but that's not always the same in every game. But from most games, first-person shooters, I understand that's how it usually is set. So, just to show you this works, there you go. See, and then I'll teabag myself. And as you can see, it works. Now the way I said it, that's exactly what happens when you use that one click mod, or when your mods get set. It's every mod, every game out there. That's what it does. When you code a program, the program codes and it injects itself into the game, okay, or whatever application you're trying to hack, all right, and injects the memory into that program or game. To me, the program can be a game, but that's exactly what it's doing. It's setting the memory. Now the memory comes in different types. So you have the bytes, which is exactly what I just set and used. Then you have pointers, you have floats, you have pointers, floats, byte arrays. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, doubles. You have doubles. And then each byte it can be 1, 2, 3, 4 bytes, 6, 7. It goes all the way up to 16. That's how binary code works. This is literally getting down to the nitty and gritty. I'm showing you to do this so you don't have to go and see. Look at this. This is aim assist. It's trying to pull me towards the guy. Watch how I walk here. Okay, I'm jumping around again. Sorry, but I'm showing you this so you don't have to go on the internet too thoroughly to look on how to set up your own aimbot. Anybody that's wanting to do this in the future, maybe 5 years from now, you want to whip out the old 360 JTAG or RGH or something, and play Halo Online again. All right, so okay, so as I'm watching, okay, so I'll show you what I mean by aim assist. Okay, so as I'm walking, I'll see if it works, because I noticed when I play this, okay, well, if you are using an aimbot, just watch when you're actually in gameplay. When your scope is highlighted red, okay, you're moving past really fast the other guy. See, look how it kind of pulls me towards the towards the guy I'm trying to shoot. If you watch in gameplay when using an aim, see, look, it just did it right there. See, look at it. It's trying to pull me towards the guy, and that's the actual assist. That when you're aiming, it's red. It's pulling you. It's pulling you to face the guy. Face the guy you're trying to kill. Where he's standing. So whereas if the aimbot was off, in just regular gameplay, you just walk right past him. See, look, it's trying to pull me now. Look at this. Watch this. Woo! See? Look, it's pulled me slightly right. And it's pulling me. Let's see if I'm not even controlling my right thumbstick, and it's actually trying to pull me. See, look at that. I'm staying focused on him. It's pulling me towards him. That's the vectors. That's the, if you look up, if you look left, if you look right, okay, we set those values. It's basically what an aimbot does. It sets the values. It sets, if you're looking left, it sets that value. And those values are typically floaters. They're usually 4 or 8 bytes long. I think it's 8 bytes. No, 4 bytes. No, it's 4 bytes. It's usually 4 bytes long. But that's what an aimbot does. And see if we were playing Call of Duty or Counter-Strike, we couldn't set the memory like this because it's not set. There's no assist built into it. So you not only have to build the assist, you have to build your vectors. Then you can set the memory. I'm not sure why some games don't do that, but I don't know. Maybe somebody on UT might correct me about the Call of Duty, but from what I can gather from the code that I've looked at so far, it looks like you have to program your own vectors. Whereas in the Halo games, you don't have to. See, look at that. It's pulling me again, clear as day. Sorry for the long video, but I really like to be thorough about this stuff. That's how it works. So if I looked up, we have the values set on your enemy. So when I walk up to him, the game assist program. The game itself is the way it's set is gonna pull me towards the guy because we have set those values. So to break it down more simply, okay, so you set the offset, which the offset corresponds to the vector, which could be looking left, looking right, looking up, looking down. Okay, so we set that offset. So offset equals vector, left, right, up, and down, equals, which equals the value. So we set the offset /vector, up, down, left, right, okay, equals the value. So looking left, we set the value at 58, the hexadecimal 58. Looking up, hexadecimal 58. Right, hexadecimal 58. Down, hexadecimal 58. And there was a bunch of others that we set. Those are just different angles. So when they break it down even better, when they talk about vectors and angles, okay. So what I was trying to mention earlier, when I'm looking at myself, okay, when you're trying to set the vector, you're trying to calculate the distance between where I'm standing here and all the way over to where this guy is, or wherever he's at on the map. See, and when you have to set those vectors, that's what you have to do in games like Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. But whereas in first-person shooters like Halo and Battlefield, for example, there's already an aim assist, so you have to do is set the memory. So which is basically what I just did. I set the memory using this game's already programmed in game aim assist. This is the aimbot. That when everybody talks about an aimbot, this is what they're referring to. This is it. I don't know how much more clearer I can get with that, but any other bullshit, this is videos for everybody, but mainly I'm trying to reference anybody that that's new or just wants to know and doesn't know. Okay, ignore what anybody else says. This is how it works. Okay, this is how it's set. I mean, I know I've always been curious about it, and it took me forever to research this, but I just wanted to make this video to explain it as thorough as I can. Okay, so that's how the actual aimbot works. Okay, so I wanted to move on. Set my guy here. It's here. All right. So I wanted to move on and talk more about offsets. So I'm going to actually exit out of that. Okay, so how there's I'm not going to actually go too deeply into about finding offsets because there's some really good videos online that explain how to actually find the offsets. But it can be really challenging. Okay, so they say in the computer world, okay, making a program is difficult, but reverse engineering a program is even more difficult. Okay, it is, especially if you have little experience, it is next to impossible to reverse engineer an actual program. So when somebody says that you need C++ like lessons or learn, they're not kidding. Learn to code first before you actually start going into reverse engineering. Okay? So once you got a little coding down, you know a little knowledge, then you can start getting into it. But there's different methods you can use, and from what I've researched online so far, you've got the peak poker, which allows you to see the offset and then set it and then test it and see how it works. And then you can either use a peak poker, for what they call real-time editing, modding, or hacking, or whatever you want to call it. And I don't ever recommend doing this online. You'll probably get banned real quickly. I'm probably going to get banned after this video, probably tomorrow, because how I just set this. I just set the aimbot. It's either a peak poker that when you're looking for the offsets you can use, or you can use what do they call it? Like a disassembler is what they call it. It's not assembly, but it's basically a well, yeah, it's called assembly, but it's a disassembler. And the most popular favorite, and what I use and what a lot of people use, is IDA. And IDA is basically a powerful disassembler that has the I don't know the correct term for it, but it has all the like the let's call it the map work for programs that are from what they're coded in. So how to explain this? So like so Xbox 360 is powered in was created with the programming language not language. Yeah, I think it's language. But it was created by PowerPC, which is basically an assembler. It's assembly language, and the language that was used was C++. You might have to research that a little bit, but that's how it was made. And IDA has that like already installed into it, so IDA is able to pull anything that was made using PowerPC, into its program, and it's got hundreds, maybe thousands of different programming assemblies or knowledge built into it. Or if you can find it on the internet, you can add it to IDA. But that's how they do it. They will use IDA, and IDA isn't real-time editing. That's you actually pull it up, and you can actually look through the code. Other other than IDA, there's some other things you can use. For example, sometimes I like to use iSpy. iSpy is just another disassembler, and basically what it does is as it actually says, it disassembles the memory. So let's look at something I coded. Okay. Okay. Battlefield mod tool. See, it breaks it down for you. See, also another important note: if you do make a tool, if you make a tool, make sure you like either encrypt it or obfuscate it, because anybody can look through it. Like I'm doing right here, they can disassemble it and basically reverse engineer it really easily. So like I pull this up and looking through it. So here's the aimbot. This is the aimbot for Battlefield 4. This is, I do have this encrypted. The only reason I can see it is because my computer already has all the files. So obviously, why would I obfuscate? Why would my computer obfuscate something it already has? Okay, so see, it literally has the code for the Battlefield 4. Actually, you know what? To make it even easier to visualize, I think I've got it in here. Here's a guy's code that he didn't secure, so I can literally reverse engineer this. Where's it at? Yeah. This guy, he didn't like secure it. See, I can literally copy and paste all this. Look at this. It says it has everything built already. All I have to do is just copy and paste all this, and I can just basically replicate his code. So assembly, disassembly. So you assemble the code, then you can disassemble it. Let's go ahead and add. I think I wanted to show you here the Halo aimbot. So let's go to. This is all kind of educational and just lots of interesting stuff. All right, so Halo mod menu. All right. All right, we're gonna open it up. All right, and then what I wanted to find was this actual aimbot code. Okay, so I think it's Halo 3. Aimbot button. Aimbot. Okay, so aimbot enabled. See, you can even it says Halo 3 period aimbot. This is where it's gonna go to. So we have to find Halo 3. This one? No. It's in here somewhere. Maybe this is it. No. Well, that's not it, of course. Yeah, there we go. Wrong section. There we go. So Halo 3, which was programmed to. Make sure this is okay. Yeah. So it's programmed to, as you said, as you saw, Halo 3.aimbot. So Halo 3 dot down to aimbot. See how it's reversing that? How it's disassembling it. So this is what I assembled. Now this is it disassembled. So it's the exact same code. Look at that. Nearly identical. Public static void aimbot. This is why you gotta really secure your stuff when you make it. But if you ever find something unsecure and you're looking for offsets, this is another way to do it. Other than just taking the game program and then putting it in the disassembler and then trying to find it. But this iSpy is just a simple tool. it's really for noobs, new people, to be honest. But if you really want to get down to nitty gritty stuff, sorry, with the good stuff, one of the best programs out there is IDA Pro. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but I'm not going to put a link to IDA Pro in the description, but I will show you where you can find it. This nice guy at D3 Scene has actually got it here. It's a cracked version. I think IDA Pro is like, that's when I was looking at to buy it was like $1,000 or something. Screw that. Alright, so go down here, Xbox Forum on D3 Scene. Go to, you see, where's that? Here it is. IDA Pro 6.6. Use this for hacking. Okay, this is what you want. It's safe. I used it. As you can see, it's clean, pretty much clean. Virus total isn't all right. Okay, well, yeah, it's all clean. Yeah, it's completely clean. And see, I can download it here. I'm not going to, but yeah, you download this. It's got everything installed that you need. You don't need to do anything extra. Just open it up. All you gotta do is click and open. All you gotta do is click and open up your .xex to disassemble the program, and you want to set it to PowerPC. I'm not gonna explain it because there's a ton of videos online that explain on how to set it up or how to use it. You don't need to set it up. All you need to do is just open up your file and then start disassembling. Start looking through it. Okay. To be honest, also I want to mention this best practice. It's usually not, when you disassemble, it's usually not going to be nice code like this. You're not really going to be able to copy and paste it like this. What you really going to be looking for is how it's coded. You need to figure out how it's coded, and then you need the offsets. Two important things. You need to figure out how it's coded, and you need the offsets. Once you figure out how the offsets work or how it's coded, okay, then you can reverse engineer it and make your tool. That's really what you need. Okay, so we covered that part. Then I wanted to talk about dumping. Searching for memory. So I'm not going to go into this, but you can use IceTool. IceTool is the only thing I've found so far where you can actually do real-time manual editing for Xbox 360. I'm not going to cover it. There's already videos on there that really good videos that explain how to use it. But this way is it is easier, but I think it's harder because it's easy to find a value that you already know. So like if I'm looking to find the offset for my ammo, okay, yeah, I can find that. That's pretty easy. But what about unknown values? That's really hard to do because you don't know what to look for. So there's a couple methods you can do to that, which is the other way of doing it instead of you either using IDA to disassemble the program, or real-time editing to search that memory for the offset. You can dump your memory. So basically you dump your memory, and then you're going to take your dump memory and you can input it into either ArtMoney or Cheat Engine. And then I'm not going to go over that because there's already good videos out there that actually go over on how to actually dump memory from any game you're using or program, game you're using, and then how to search for the unknown value. To be honest, it's not exactly one I recommend over the other because they all have their pros and cons. I would get familiar with all of it. I'd get familiar with all three methods. Disassembly, real-time editing, or dumping memory, however they call that. Those are three methods, and I would get used to all of them, and I would use all of them. I do actually use all of them. I find that's what I'd recommend. I'm not a one all kind of guy. I'm an assortment kind of person, but that's just how I view it, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with me on that. You want to get used to all these different methods, because one, they have pros and cons. So if I'm looking for an unknown value in real time memory searching, editing, searching, I can't find it. I don't know what to look for. So my better solution would be to dump the memory, Or if I'm looking through the offsets and I can't figure out, if I want to get an actual good picture of how the thing is actually structured, I'm going to use IDA. Again, pros and cons. I can I can talk about this all day. Talk about how each one of these works, but I'm not, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into it that far in depth. But really, what I wanted to show everybody was the Halo 3 aimbot, how you actually make it, and providing the actual code and how it actually works. That pretty much wraps up my little tutorial for making online Halo aimbot today. So I'm gonna provide a link to the Halo to this website here to get your IDA for D3 scene, and then I'm also gonna provide a link where you can get Halo 3 game as well, and then I'm also gonna provide my source code. So in my source code, I'm gonna give you the offsets for Halo and Halo Reach. Halo Reach, the aimbot is way more simpler, but so you can make your own tools. So just to give you highlight a few things, I'm going to give you the aimbot for Halo 3, the codes for all missions. I'm going to give you the band bypass codes, which I really don't know what the point is. 343 really doesn't give a shit anymore. So I mean, you can use this if you want. I think it's super pointless. Maybe you're banned a long time ago and you need to get unbanned or something. I don't know. And then I'm also going to give you the codes for the instant 50 as well. So I also one last thing I also just want to mention too. When you are making your tools and setting your offsets, it's very, very important to think about how you make your tool logically. Okay, so when you're setting your memory or coding, how is that being applied to the game? If I were you, instead of just jumping right in and copy and pasting someone's code, I'd actually look through it myself and just spend some time on it, right? If you get a new set of wheels, right, you'd want to take it out for a couple test drives before you actually buy it, right? I mean, I would. Or you'd actually want to look under the hood before you actually drive it. Like the old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and find it educational. If you have any questions, please let me know. Alright, thank you.